Here's why I think buying Bitcoin now makes so much sense. The first reason is that the fear and greed index has dropped to extreme fear, 10. We have not seen this much fear in the market since the bottom of the bear market back in July of 2022. So Bitcoin was trading at around $19,000 when the fear and greed index was at 10. Guys and girls, we have the same amount of fear in the markets when Bitcoin was at $19,000, when now we're at $85,000, which seems like uncomprehendable to me. So if you don't understand, the best and most profitable way of investing is obviously one, to invest in the long run. And number two is to buy when there is fear and sell when there is greed. You need to be a shark. The crypto kids need to be sharks that understand that when there is blood and fear in the market, that is the time to be buying the dip. So this is reason number one. And if you want to be buying this Bitcoin dip, then the best way to buy Bitcoin with cash or through bank transfer is actually on Bybit by using Apple Pay or a credit card or using your bank account. So the link for Bybit is down in the description below. And if you sign up 2 weeks to add limit orders to DCA during this Bitcoin crash, and I'll show you what levels are, in my opinion, good places to be DCing into Bitcoin, you can trade on weeks and you can get up to $100 USDT prize airdropped to your account randomly if you sign up to that week's link in the description down below. But the second reason why I think it is a great time to be buying the dip is because on the daily time frame, Bitcoin is perfectly retested the 200-day moving average, which has been proven to be a fantastic buy the dip opportunity. It's also a very relevant moving average on Bitcoin. You can see phenomenal support here back in March of 2023. You can see it being resistance in October 2023 and then flipped into support where Bitcoin went to $47,000 with a fake BlackRock ETF approval news. In March 2022, you got a retest that caused the bear market to begin. So yeah, in short, the 200-day SMA is always a beautiful place to be DCing into Bitcoin. And the final reason, before I give you some of my targets, is that on the daily time frame, the RSI has been incredibly oversold. In fact, it has never been this oversold in a long time. The only place where Bitcoin was this oversold was back in August of 2023 when Bitcoin was trading at $25,000. So you need to understand, right? Even with just a 20% crash, which Bitcoin sees all the time, even in bull markets, even in parabolas, since the prior all-time high, we should have dipped around 30%. So this is a huge, no, not even 24%. Bitcoin can even have up to a 40% crash in bear markets and still be bull markets and still be in a bull market. So do not be surprised by this. If you're, of course, new into crypto, that it seems so weird and seems, how is this even possible? You're probably freaking out. But you need to understand that this is completely normal. And currently we are oversold like so much that it's just beautiful to buy in currently. So what are those places to be buying in? That is probably the question you're asking. Yesterday, we spoke about the Bitcoin CME gap. Now, I wouldn't be trusting to buy and wait for the CME gap. I don't trust it too much. Why? Right? A lot of people are thinking that, since we've dumped so far, why not just come down and close the CME gap created at $78,000? Well, if you look back into the prior cycle in 2020, right, we created the CME gap at $24,000 in the parabolic run in 2020 before we topped out at 64K eventually. So we created a huge CME gap, and even after, actually on the weekly time frame, this CME gap was on the weekly as well, which is more important. So if we go back to the previous cycle, you can see that Bitcoin, after hitting $64,000, it actually corrected by not 24% like we're correcting now. It corrected a whopping 53%, dumping from $64,000 all the way to $28,000. And I think a lot of people imagine that the CME gap would be closed, but you can see that it actually didn't get closed. That is why I am telling you, yes, Bitcoin is close to it, but it doesn't mean it has to close the CME gap. So what I would be doing is, number one, buying at these prices. I think buying at these prices makes so much sense. It's like, if you missed buying Bitcoin during the breakout here after Trump became president, well, you're basically buying into Bitcoin now at approximately 15% more expensive than where we were at the breakout. So actually 20% more expensive. But now you have the guarantee that Trump is actually pro-Bitcoin. You have Congress that's pro-Bitcoin. You have pro-Bitcoin bills in individual states who want to accumulate Bitcoin. On top of this, banks, corporations, institutions are adding more Bitcoin to their balance sheets. More companies are adding Bitcoin to their balance sheets. And there is pro-Bitcoin and crypto laws being passed. Investigations into crypto companies in the US are being dropped. So you're buying at a 20% premium, but you're actually getting all of the uncertainties and all of the speculations being checked. And I think that is a phenomenal thing to do. Like Tulsi Gabbard, Robert F. Kennedy Jr., Vivek Ramaswamy, they're all a major part in the US government now, and they're all Bitcoin bulls. So yes, you're buying at a 20% premium, but you have all of those news being verified and being confirmed. And I think that premium is actually worth to pay. So number one, buying now makes so much sense. But if you really want to try and catch the bottom, which you will never be able to do, I would just suggest opening multiple limit orders to DCA into Bitcoin as much as possible. So number one, obviously where we are currently at 85, 86, that's beautiful. Then you could open one, at let's say 83, some at 82, and you could just put like 15 to 20 different limit orders at random prices, all the way down to the closure of the Bitcoin CME Gap at $78,000. You can open like 20 different positions or orders to buy as much Bitcoin as possible. Just don't do any whole numbers because market makers don't like whole numbers for some reason. So buying at multiple limit orders down to 78 would make so much sense. And if you want to really be prepared for the worst case scenario, you could even put orders at 74, at 72, that's good support, 71.5, 71, and even at $69,000. I don't think we'll go back to 60s, but just in case, you never know. So I think that would be a very incredible strategy. And talking about strategy, I think MicroStrategy is also at a very good price to DCA in and buy the dip. So with that said, guys, I hope you enjoyed that video. Make sure to destroy the like button. Make sure to subscribe if you're not a crypto kid already. And let me know in the comment section, are you buying this Bitcoin dip? With that said, thank you so much for watching. Bitcoin is actually dropping to 84 as I speak. So yeah, did I mention this? Oh, I forgot to mention this. Okay. So the reason why Bitcoin, I said it in the live show, the reason why we could drop a little bit more is because Trump just announced that he will be going forward with the Mexico and Canadian tariffs starting March 4th, right? So he previously said that the tariffs would begin on April the 2nd, which was last night, but he changed his mind and he wants to do it on March the 4th, and he's going to do an additional 10% tariff on China, and then he announced 25% tariffs on Europe, and Europe announced 25% tariffs on the US. So obviously that is not good news whatsoever. But guys, thanks so much for watching. Have a great day, and I'll see you all on the channel tomorrow. So take care, and as always, bye-bye.